What happens when you put wrestling's most wholesome champion against late-night television's most relentlessly cheerful host? What happens when someone who's built their career on genuine positivity meets someone whose enthusiasm feels increasingly forced and hollow? John Cena was about to show Jimmy Fallon exactly what happens when real meets fake. And Jimmy was about to learn that some people's kindness has limits when authenticity is questioned. The Tonight Show studio pulses with its familiar manic energy as John Cena settles into the guest chair. At 46, the wrestling legend still radiates the powerful presence that made him beloved by millions. But there's something more thoughtful about him now. The wisdom that comes from years of Make-A-Wish visits, charity work, and genuine human connection. Jimmy bounces in his seat with his trademark hyperactive enthusiasm. His smile is enormous, his energy infectious, but there's something almost desperate about his cheerfulness tonight. John Cena, everybody, Jimmy announces with explosive excitement. The man, the myth, the legend. The guy who's granted more Make-A-Wish requests than anyone in history. John, you're absolutely incredible. John's smile is warm and genuine. Thanks for having me, Jimmy. Good to be here. Good to be here? Good to be here. Jimmy's voice reaches an almost frantic pitch. Dude, you're John Cena. You're on The Tonight Show. This should be the best moment of your entire life. The hyperbolic reaction makes John slightly uncomfortable. His expression becomes more measured. It's a great moment, Jimmy. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Grateful. Grateful. Jimmy claps his hands together with theatrical intensity. That's what I'm talking about. That positive attitude. That's the John Cena brand right there. The word brand hangs in the air awkwardly. John's smile becomes more forced. I don't really think of kindness as a brand, Jimmy. Oh, come on. Jimmy's laugh is enormous and hollow. Everything's a brand these days. Your whole nice guy thing, your charity work, your positive messages. It's brilliant marketing. Absolutely brilliant. The comment hits John like a physical blow. His entire demeanor shifts, becoming more serious. Marketing. Yeah. The whole wholesome, family-friendly image. It's genius. You've got kids loving you, parents respecting you, sponsors throwing money at you. You've monetized niceness. It's amazing. John stands up slowly, his imposing frame making the studio feel smaller. Jimmy, do you think my work with sick children is marketing? The question carries an edge that makes everyone in the studio uncomfortable. Jimmy's manic energy falters slightly. Well, I mean, it's great PR. PR. John's voice rises with controlled fury. You think visiting dying children in hospitals is a publicity stunt? The studio goes dead silent. Jimmy realizes he's stepped into dangerous territory. That's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. John cuts him off with authority that fills the space. You just reduced 20 years of genuine charity work to a marketing strategy. Jimmy tries to laugh it off, but his discomfort is obvious. I'm just saying you've built this incredible brand around being positive. Stop calling it a brand. John's voice cracks like a whip. Stop reducing human kindness to business strategy. Stop treating genuine compassion like it's some calculated career move. The audience shifts uncomfortably. This has moved far beyond playful banter into something more serious. John, I think you're misunderstanding. I understand perfectly. John responds with devastating clarity. You can't comprehend that someone might actually care about people without an ulterior motive. You're so cynical that genuine kindness looks fake to you. He walks around the coffee table, moving with the controlled intensity that made him legendary in the ring. You want to know what's really sad, Jimmy? You're sitting here suggesting that helping sick children is just good business, while you profit from fake enthusiasm every single night. The attack is personal and devastating. Jimmy's face flushes red. My enthusiasm isn't fake, isn't it? John's laugh is bitter, because everything about this show feels manufactured. The over-the-top reactions, the forced laughter, the desperate need to make everything seem amazing and incredible. He faces the cameras directly, speaking to millions of viewers with the authenticity that's made him beloved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's wrong with entertainment culture today. Someone who performs happiness for a living is telling someone who actually helps people that their kindness must be calculated. His voice grows stronger, more passionate. This is someone who's never visited a children's hospital assuming that anyone who does must be doing it for publicity. Jimmy tries desperately to regain control. I visit hospitals too. For photo ops, John responds immediately. For content. For your image. I've been doing this for 20 years, Jimmy. I can tell the difference between genuine care and manufactured compassion. The studio is electric with tension. This has gone far beyond normal late-night territory into something that feels like a moral reckoning. You know what really bothers me? John continues, his voice carrying decades of accumulated frustration. People like you have made it impossible for anyone to do good work without having their motives questioned. He looks directly at Jimmy with something approaching pity. You've created a culture where kindness is automatically suspect, where helping others must have an angle, where genuine human connection is just another business strategy. Jimmy's trademark smile is completely gone now, replaced by obvious discomfort. That's not what I believe. That's exactly what you believe, John responds with finality. You just spent 10 minutes explaining how my charity work is brilliant marketing. You turn my relationship with dying children into a business case study. He grabs his jacket from the back of his chair, preparing for his exit. Do you know what it's like to hold a child who's fighting for their life? To see the hope in their eyes when their hero shows up? To watch families find strength in moments of incredible pain? The studio is completely silent as John's voice breaks slightly with emotion. That's not marketing, Jimmy. That's not branding. That's not PR. That's being human. Something you seem to have forgotten how to do. As he puts on his jacket, John delivers his most powerful statement. I've met thousands of children who were braver, kinder, and more genuine than most adults I know. Kids who were facing death with more dignity than you face a simple interview. His voice carries across the studio with absolute conviction. And you think their pain, their hope, their joy at meeting their hero is just content for my brand? You think their family's gratitude is just good publicity? Jimmy makes one desperate attempt to salvage the situation. John, I never meant to minimize. You minimized everything. John cuts him off with devastating calm. You minimized their suffering by calling it my marketing opportunity. You minimized their courage by calling it my brand strategy. You minimized their humanity by turning it into business analysis. He walks toward the exit, then turns back one final time. To everyone watching who's ever done something good and had people question your motives, don't let cynics convince you that kindness is calculated. Don't let people who've never helped anyone tell you that helping people must be fake. His voice grows stronger with each word. Don't let hosts who perform emotions for a living tell you that real emotions must be performances. Don't let people who profit from manufactured happiness convince you that genuine joy doesn't exist. He looks directly at Jimmy for the last time. And to the kids watching who dream of making a difference, do it anyway. Help people anyway. Be kind anyway. Even when cynics tell you it must be fake. Even when people question your motives. Even when others can't believe that goodness exists without an agenda. The moment John starts to leave, Jimmy panics. John, wait. No. John responds with absolute finality. I'm done being analyzed by someone who's never analyzed their own authenticity. I'm done having my life's work reduced to marketing strategy by someone whose entire career is marketing strategy. He disappears from frame, leaving Jimmy sitting in stunned silence. The studio erupts in chaos. Jimmy's usually quick recovery is nowhere to be found. The band doesn't know whether to play. The audience sits in shocked silence. For 2 full minutes, nobody speaks. The dead air stretches across late-night television like an indictment of entertainment culture's cynicism. Finally, Jimmy manages to whisper, "We'll be right back." But the damage is catastrophic. Within minutes, clips are viral across every social media platform. Hashtag John vs. Jimmy explodes into trending territory, with an overwhelming response supporting John's defense of genuine charity work. Make-A-Wish Foundation releases a statement confirming John's unprecedented commitment to their mission. Hospitals share stories of his private visits that were never publicized. Children's charities detail his behind-the-scenes support that generated no media coverage. The interview becomes a cultural touchstone about authenticity versus performance, about genuine kindness versus manufactured compassion, about whether good deeds can exist without ulterior motives. Child welfare organizations praise John for defending the dignity of sick children against cynical exploitation. Parents share stories of how John's genuine care had impacted their families during difficult times. But perhaps most importantly, the incident sparks a broader conversation about cynicism in entertainment culture, about whether genuine human goodness still exists, and about the difference between performing kindness and living it. John Cena had walked into that studio as a wrestling legend promoting his latest project. He walked out as something more significant, a defender of authentic human goodness against entertainment industry cynicism, a reminder that some people still do good things for good reasons. The champion had fought his most important match, not against a wrestling opponent, but against cultural cynicism, and he'd won by knockout. His message was simple but revolutionary. Kindness doesn't need an agenda. Compassion doesn't require calculation. And some people still help others simply because it's the right thing to do. Sometimes the most radical thing you can do is be genuinely good. In a world that assumes everyone has an angle. Especially then.